My name is Kara Alderson. I am in Nursing 5120, Section 439 with Mier. Today we are going to be doing my History of Present Illness interview with CA. Before we get started, CA, do I have your consent to interview you and record this interview?
Yes, ma'am, you do.
Okay. And then here is my student ID. And as you can see, I have a blank soap note to begin with. I'm going to step out, and when I come back in, we'll begin our interview.
Come in.
Hi, my name's Kara. Today I'll be interviewing you and assessing you. Before we get started, can I get your name?
CA,
Your date of birth?
July 20, 1946.
Your gender?
Male,
And your ethnicity.
white.
Alright, so what brings you in today?
I've had a real bad sore throat and fever.
Okay. Tell me more about the sore throat. When did it begin?
About 2 days ago.
Did you feel good the day before?
Yes,
And did you notice this when you first woke up, or did it develop throughout the day?
it developed. I felt it when I first woke up.
Okay. As far as the sore throat, does it hurt on both sides?
Yes,
And is there any other words to describe it, or is it just sore, or does it have a shooting, stabbing pain? Is it burning? What kind of pain?
no, it's just really sore when I swallow, in particular.
Okay, anything else make it worse?
No,
Anything make it better?
I can usually drink some like warm broth, and it will kind of help soothe it.
Okay. And on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is no pain and 10 is the worst pain ever, how bad would you say your pain is?
Around a 5.
Okay. Any other symptoms with this sore throat?
A little fever, and I've been able to take 2 Tylenol every 4 hours, and it pretty well relieves the fever anyway.
Okay, good. And did you take your temperature again after taking the
No.
Tylenol?
No.
Okay. But did you feel better after taking it?
Yes.
All right. Any other symptoms I need to know about before we get started?
The temperature was about 101.0.
Okay. Good to know. Anything else?
No, just sore throat and a little headache. Headache and fever.
Okay.
Slight headache.
All right. And did the Tylenol help the headache as well?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to go over your past medical history so I know you better before we go into our exam. What medications are you taking?
I take, brought me a cheat sheet. I take 2 pills twice a day, one in the morning and one afternoon, of metformin, 500 milligram for diabetes. I take a glypiride, 2 milligrams, 1 pill nightly. Omeprazole, 20 milligrams in the mornings for my acid reflux. Simvastatin, 20 milligrams at night for my high cholesterol. I take a lisinopril, 20 milligrams once in the morning for my blood pressure. And then I had low magnesium count, and I've been taking 1 pill in the morning of 350 milligrams and 1 pill then at night.
Okay. Anything else besides the Tylenol you're taking?
No.
Okay. And are you allergic to any medications?
No, not that I'm aware of.
All right. Any seasonal allergies?
None. No.
Okay. What about food allergies?
None.
When was your last physical exam?
A month ago.
Okay, so that would be February 2020.
Yes.
And did you have blood work?
2022.
Oh, yes, sorry. And did you have blood work done at that time?
Yes, for my blood sugar.
Okay. And have you had a flu shot this flu season?
Yes.
Have you ever had the pneumonia vaccine?
Yes.
And have you had a tetanus shot in the last 10 years?
Yes.
Okay. So have you ever been hospitalized?
Yes. I had bleeding ulcers, and they ran a tube down my throat and found out I had 2 ulcers at the entrance to my stomach, and that's the reason why I take the omeprazole every day to control my acid reflux.
Okay, and did you have to receive blood for this?
Yes, I did.
And any reaction to the blood?
No.
Okay. Any other hospitalizations?
No.
All right, any surgeries?
Just skin cancer.
Okay, what kind of skin cancer?
I've had the I've had the what's the deadly stuff?
Melanoma?
I've had no melanoma that was on my ear that was removed several years ago, and no reoccurrence for that. And then the other one, it's a carcinoma.
Okay.
I've had about 3 or 4 of those removed surgically.
Okay, the basal cell carcinoma?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you know when your last removal was?
About 3 years ago.
And then did you have to have any chemo or radiation for the melanoma?
No.
Okay, very good. And what medical conditions? You said you had hypertension, diabetes, the acid reflux. Any other medical conditions that you have?
No.
High
Well,
cholesterol?
I had, all right, I'd have to look, but blood sugar, and I have the acid reflux, and high blood pressure,
Okay.
and I was low in magnesium. The reason why I'm taking the pills on my last blood work, though, it came back acceptable.
Okay, good. I'm glad that supplementing is working. For the diabetes, is that type 1 or type 2?
Type 2.
Okay. Have you ever had any traumas, car accidents, head injuries, anything like that?
Well, when I was less than 2, I fell out of a car going about 60 miles an hour, and of course I had trauma over that. And rather than that, that's really the only trauma I've had.
Okay, that's good to hear. Any deficits from the car accident?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you sexually active?
Yes.
Any history of STDs?
No.
All right. And any history of like emotional or psychological conditions?
No.
Okay. So now I'm going to go over your social history. Do you use any tobacco, alcohol, or drugs?
No.
All right. What's your current living arrangement?
I live in a house with my wife and daughter.
Do you feel safe at home?
Very.
Do you have everything you need? Food, water, electricity?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's your occupation?
I'm a retired school teacher, but I am currently farming and ranching.
Okay. What do you farm and ranch?
I do farming. I raise hay, and then I have a small herd of goats.
Okay. That's hard work.
Keeps me busy.
Yes, sir. It's good to stay busy. Do you use any pesticides to farm or ranch?
No.
And then any other animals that you're around?
I have a couple of bird dogs.
Okay. Any allergies to them
No.
that you're aware of?
No.
Okay. And do you have any religious beliefs that affect how we care for you?
No.
All right. Well, that looks like our social part. We're going to move on to your family history. So, do you have any siblings?
I had 2 brothers.
Okay. And do they have any medical conditions that you know of?
My middle brother was diagnosed with melanoma, and about a year and a half ago, it got to his brain, and he passed from it. He was about 66 years old.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And my youngest brother lives in Austin, and I don't see him a whole lot, but I think he has probably high blood pressure and diabetes also.
Okay. Are your parents still living?
No, they're both passed.
Okay. As far as you know, did your mom have any medical conditions?
Mom had a stroke, and then later she got bone cancer, and it caused her to pass.
Okay. And how old was she when this happened?
69.
Okay. And when was this?
In 1990.
All right. I'm sorry about that. As far as you know, did your dad have any medical conditions?
He had diabetes also.
Okay.
And he had a heart attack, which killed him 3 months later in 1990.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of stuff to go through at the same time. How old was your father?
He was also 69.
Okay. Do you know if your mother's mother had any medical conditions?
She had a stroke.
Okay.
And it eventually led to her passing.
Okay. What about your mother's father?
He lived older age, but he had asthma real bad.
Okay. And what about your father's father?
He had a stroke, and later he had a heart attack, and he was 84 years old. when he had the heart attack, which killed him.
Okay. And what about your father's mother?
She's very healthy. She lived to be about 96.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, I think that's all of your personal and family history. I'm now going to move on to review of symptoms, make sure we haven't missed any symptoms before we get started with your exam. You said you had fever and chills. Have you had any other generalized symptoms since this began?
No.
And then, have you had any decreased appetite or decreased food intake?
No.
Okay. Have you noticed any change to your hair, skin, or nails since this began?
No.
And then you mentioned a slight headache. Any other general head symptoms?
No.
Any pain in your ears?
No.
What about discharge?
No.
All right. What about your eyes? Any pain or discharge?
No.
Have you noticed any nasal symptoms, stuffy nose or runny nose?
No.
Okay. Have you noticed your tonsils have been swollen?
Just when I woke up that morning.
Okay. Have you noticed any cough or shortness of breath?
No.
Have you felt like your heart has been racing or you've had any palpitations?
No.
Have you noticed any swelling in your hands or feet?
No.
Okay. Any nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea?
No.
Have you had any pain when urinating, changing in how much or how often you urinate?
No.
Any change to the color of your urine?
No.
Okay. Have you had any muscle weakness or muscle pain?
No.
Any change in mood?
No.
Have you had any dizziness or confusion since this began?
No.
All right. Do you feel like there's anything else I need to know before we examine you?
I felt pretty good except for the sore throat and a little fever.
Okay. I'll step out, and when I come back in, we'll get started. Thank you very much.
All right, very good. Thank you, ma'am.